I mean, think it's our game. It's our game that our game's been held down and held back, and now I don't know if it's the television package or the negotiations. I don't know what it is, but I think what we are witnessing is something truly special, and the atmosphere here. I mean, everything. I've never seen as many people in the plaza of any plaza for a regular season game, and then the energy that was in this building was great. Even though we're on the other side of it, I love being in the gym with people who are really loving up on women's basketball to this level. But it's not going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger.
Who was holding you back when you say the game had
Who? The decision makers. Yeah, they know who they are.
Alan in the picture, and then here on the aisle. Alan, right here in front of you.
Raven had maybe the two biggest plays of the night, drawing that fifth foul on Angel, and then the take on the last possession. Did you see anything from her in the fourth quarter? Maybe you saw that coming, or I guess what does it say about her that she was able to do two different kind of plays like that late?
Raven's a competitor. What you saw is just her making two competitive moves. It's a huge to get Angel out the game. Huge when she went through all of her options of the set that we wanted to run. Couldn't complete any of the options. She put her head down and made a play, and made it. And actually, that was probably the game winner to put the game out of reach. And she needs that. Like she put so much into the game. I'm glad the game found a way to repay her in that moment.
Here on the aisle.
Coach, did it feel like a NCAA tournament Final Four type game?
Yeah. What is his name? ESPN guy. I mean, he's the new guy. He's the new appointed. No. Black guy.
Steve A?
I don't know his name, but I met him. I had several conversations with him, and he told me that it will look different. And he's a decision maker, and he's decided to change the look of women's basketball. He's done it with the WNBA. He's doing it now for our college game, women's basketball, and for them to all be here in one place. It's called being intentional. So college game day, we'll probably visit some other campuses, and I hope the entire crew is here. The entire crew is there because it shows the commitment, and I hope the fact that he made that commitment to see LSU fill this building, create the atmosphere. We put on a great game that could have gone either way. So it was a great display of women's basketball.
You've kind of talked about it, but my question was going to be, how great was the game? The competition, the athletes on both sides, all those things that.
I mean, it was, you know, when you think about just utopia, you know, you want, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? It had all the dynamics of what you want every, you know, women's basketball player to experience. And selfishly, we do that at our place in South Carolina, and they do it here at LSU, and they do it in Iowa. They do it in a lot of different places, but the experience that our student athletes are afforded because of what the crowd is doing and what the decision makers are doing to bring more attention to our game. We're going to talk about this for years, and I hope we don't, because they will be replaced with other experiences, and this is normal.
We'll go to Corey and then Kate.
Hey, Dawn.
What's up, Corey? How you doing? We
Hey,
miss
Dawn.
you.
Doing well. How are you? Two quick ones for you. The matchup between Chloe and Anissa, especially in the first half, just how fun was that to watch? I know it was fun for us up at Press Row. And then, two, you guys have built your teams very differently. What's it like to just match up with, you know, teams and coaches that kind of, you know, utilize different ways to build teams and how it's able to, you know, I mean, obviously you guys played a really close game, so it's interesting how you guys can build teams in different ways and it still be super competitive.
Anissa and Chloe, they battled. You know, it was great to see. I mean, two young talented posts that just were going at it, and I doubt if they were talking smack to each other. They were doing it with their game, so it was good to see them impact the game in various ways. Jump shots at the basket, putting the ball on the floor. It was great basketball, and then I mean, in this day and age, you could build a team fairly quickly, you know, through the transfer portal, we kind of do it the hard way in that our players are really ones that trust us, even when they don't play a whole lot. They do trust the process. And, you know, we saw Sanaya Fagan, who sat the bench for 2 years for us. She's a junior now. Now she's starting to play a little bit more. That doesn't happen very often. They're out of there. She's pretty talented. Like, she could probably go somewhere and start and play plenty of minutes. But she chose to stick it out with us. I mean, Ashlyn Watkins sat a lot last year. She's coming out, didn't play a whole lot, you know, in the first half. Finishes the game for us in the fourth quarter. It is that. So, you know, basketball, I tell our players this all the time, like, it has a way of repaying you. When you treat it the right way, it will repay you. You just have to be ready for it.
Katie, and then we'll finish here on the huddle.
Hi, Dawn. You mentioned that getting Angel out the game was a huge deal. How would you characterize her impact on the game to that point, and then the impact her absence had down the stretch?
Angel is she's a talent. She's aggressive. She's poised. She's very unselfish. Like, she would give up, you know, probably a layup to kick out to three. She's mean. Like, she's physical. She is somebody that you want to play with, because you know she's going to play to the very end. She's going to give it her all. And that's what you lose if you're LSU and she's out of the game for the last 4 minutes of the game. I mean, you lose that. And obviously they did a great job at tying the score and taking the lead in her absence, but you don't get another offensive rebound. She's gonna get it. You don't get a steal. You don't get a spectacular block. And for us, you know, we tried to capitalize on her absence by picking on the freshman, and I thought Della Rosario did a great job. You know, she held her own, and she's getting better. But when you lose Angel, you lose a big part of what they do, because she touches the ball and she makes the right decisions.
We'll finish here on the
Dawn, end of first quarter, end of second quarter, you hit threes both times, and then Bree hit a couple big threes the final minutes. Just what impact do you think that ability to hit the outside shot has had on your team this season?
Yeah, we don't win as many games if we're not hitting threes. So, for us, we practice them. We try to execute them in the basket in the games. And I wish we shoot a little bit more. I do, because we don't take bad shots. We don't take bad threes. We might take bad twos, but we don't take bad threes. So if we can get a little bit more greedy with it, Pow, Breezy, Ray, Tessa. We didn't get Tessa in the game enough for her to stretch the floor for us, but she can knock down some threes too. It gives us a shot at winning a game in this type of environment when it was hard for us to get a bucket. It was hard for us to score in the paint. It was hard for our post players to score. So the threes loosen things up a little bit.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
By Coach Mulkey, Elijah Johnson, and Denise Samora. We'll take questions from the players first. Coach Mulkey, raise your hand, we'll get a mic.
Well, Jay, are you tired? After all that, you ran all over the court trying to defend the threes and make steals and hit shots and everything. How did y'all ride that adrenaline, and how are you feeling now?
Not tired. A little irritated, but not tired. We fought hard. I mean, I think in the first half we played some great basketball against the #1 team in the nation, against 6-7. And, I'm proud of my teammates. I'm proud of Angel for stepping up and guarding Cardoza big in the first half. I'm proud of Nice for, hitting those shots. I'm proud of Michaela for keeping her poise as a freshman. Proud of Haley. She had some mishaps, but overall she hit big shots and she tried to keep us controlled. So I'm proud of everybody.
Lisa, just Coach in our post-game radio show said toughness is where you guys were lacking tonight. The ability to finish. You've been a part of a couple different basketball teams now. Where does this team need to grow still, and what did you prove tonight to yourselves?
I feel like we need to grow with executing offensively, but more than actually defensively before I go to offense, because all of us can score the basketball. Defensively, I've had to guard some of the top players on each team, and I feel like tonight I fell short for that defensively. So that's on me, but I feel like as a team we are coming together and we're getting to know each other. We are playing together, and this is something that we have to do better as a team.
To both players, Coach Staley was talking about how amazing the game was, the competition, the crowd, and how great it was for the game. When you play in a game like that and it goes down the wire and you just come a little bit short, what's your feeling walking away from it? There's some good feelings, but obviously some bad as well, or?
We just got work to do. We got work to do as a team. You know, our coaches, you know, me being a leader, I have work to do in those moments. I think it's just going to be continue playing together. I think we needed a game like this where, like, we had to lead, you know what I mean, going into the half. At the end of each quarter, we gave up threes. We lost by 6, you know what I mean? So tightening up on things like that. The crowd was loud and into it, and we got to be able to communicate better. But like I said, I'm proud. Like, that was the #1 team in the nation, stacked team, you know what I'm saying? But I just felt like we was almost there. We was almost there.
I would say our attention to detail and staying poised throughout the game. I feel like we had a lot of times where we let South Carolina rush us. We have to stay poised, and we have to pay attention to detail.
Flau'jae Nisa in the back. Three-point shooting that South Carolina had, what challenges specifically did that present, and how did they get open looks down the stretch in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, no, they're a great team. They got 6-7 on the paint. They got 60% shooter from the 3 from Pow Pow. They got Bree Hall, who's been playing very well from the 3, slashing, driving. Just a great all-around player that can hit, you know, big shots and big moments like she did. They really stretched the floor for us, and you know, our defense is, you know, 5 people guarding the ball, and it's hard to do that when you got shooters. So I think in the first half we did a great job in helping a little bit, getting Cardozo, getting back to our man. You know what I mean? We kind of executed that game plan, and down the stretch, you know, they were tougher. They were tougher than us.
I would say ball penetration. If you have ball penetration, it's easy to kick the ball out and knock down shots, and for us to scramble defensively, and I felt like they did really good with that tonight.
For either or both the players, where did you feel Angel's absence was missed the most in the last few minutes of the game?
I would say on the boards. Defensively on the boards, just a presence in the inside, having the experience, and
Yes.
her being a senior is a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna just piggyback off that experience. That was a big hit for us. Going in the end, we have 4 minutes left. Like, that's too much time. It's too much time to not have Angel Reese on the floor. So yeah, the experience. Then we had turnovers. So that's what you get.
This is for both players. ESPN brought their full crew to this game. I'm just curious, is that meaningful to you guys? Are you aware of that? Does that elevate this game even beyond playing the #1 team in the country?
I think it's great that, you know, for women's basketball, but like me personally, I would just focus on the game. Like I'm focused on the game. I'm focused on being in the #1 team. You know, focus on my preparation. But it is great. Like, look at all of y'all in here with all of y'all cameras. It's good to see. But I was just so focused on this game. Like, I wanted this one bad.
I would say with everybody being here, it's a great experience. Never experienced this before, so I'm grateful for that. And like I said, like what Flau'jae said, I was really locked in on the game and just trying to come out with a win tonight.
Got time for a couple more for the players.
Ladies right here. For both of you, when they initially went down, hit a pair of free throws, and then Cardoso, I think, made a layup on the next possession to take the lead, you guys came back down, and Haley got the N1, and you guys just talk about in those moments in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of this game that you didn't really allow, you know, them to kind of completely seize control. What was it about you guys that really just kept that fight, you know, in those crunch time minutes there?
Not backing down. Throughout the game, I felt like they punch, we punch back. And with a team as good as South Carolina, you can't back down.
We competitors. We're competitors. We're not just gonna let somebody just come, you know what I'm saying? Like, we competitors, and we got dogs on the court who can score the ball at will, you know what I'm saying? But what we lacked tonight was the defensive end. We're competitors, though, down that stretch. I let Pow drive, and but we're competitors, and we compete, and we help each other, and we lift each other up. You know what I'm saying? If I slip, Niece got my back. If Niece slip, I'm trying to come help in any way that I can. So we just, that's just competing and us playing together. So hyped for Haley. She hit 2 big buckets to keep us in the game, but, without Angel, we lacked that experience that we needed versus Cardozo.
To add with that, I would just say having each other back. That's something we've been working on all season, and we've been through a hell of a season together. So just having each other back throughout the game, on and off the basketball court.
Final question here in front.
This is for either one of you or both. Del Rosario came in, especially early in the game, provided some big minutes. Really seemed like she kind of got her confidence going too. How much did that pay off, especially when Angel went out there with 4 minutes left in the game, and kind of knowing, hey, we've got her back here and she's already built confidence in this game?
We work with Lily every day. Hard days, tough days, some days she cry, but we want to see Lily at her best potential. And I felt like her going in there just shows how much.
Yeah, I love Lily. She came in, got that N1, got those big boards. She was really fighting with Cardoza. I tell her every day in practice, like, Lily, like, your body is an All-American, but your mind is not there yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can be a great player. Like, never limit yourself. But it's going to come with time. Like, she's a freshman. Like, I was a freshman, and I know, like, where her head is at. Like, don't mess up. Make sure I'm here. Make sure I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just like, this is going to be a big learning curve for her, and it's going to be a good one if she take it and, do the right things with it. I think, she doesn't have that experience in this big game. Like, it's 15,000 people in here. She can't hear us. We can't really talk to her. You know what I mean? So, I just gave her some grace with that because she's a freshman. She learned it. But I said, Lily, you gotta get mean. Like, she's a giant teddy bear. Like, I'm like, Lily, you gotta get mean.
Y'all have a good night. Get home safe. All right, Coach.
Okay, baby. Bye-bye.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, from your perspective, last couple minutes of the fourth quarter, what went wrong and how'd you fall into that hole?
Reed, let me tell you, your article in the paper today might be the best I've read in a long time. You did some research, and I appreciate it. For those of you who haven't read it, go find it. That's real journalism. He didn't give an opinion. He called people and did some work. You had to go back and you had to go look at record books, too. Appreciate that, buddy. When you don't have Angel Reese on the floor the last 4 minutes of the game, it takes you out of your rhythm. It takes you out of your confidence zone. I don't think I put her back in the game too early. She fouled out with 4 minutes to go, so she would have been in there if I'd have put her in with 5 minutes to go. I thought the game came down to exactly what it usually does. It's just toughness. It's experience. That was a good basketball game. Our kids fought really hard, and the crowd was outstanding. It was a great atmosphere, and when you don't have your All-American on the floor to rebound first and to guard Cardoza as well, I thought we battled and did about as good as we could. This game comes down to possessions. At the end of the first quarter, we gave up a 3. At the end of the second quarter, we went in too early. They come down, they hit a 3. So I think Flage said it best, you only lost by 6, but you break it down possession by possession. I thought that when we came out in the third quarter, they were tougher than we were. The first 5 minutes, they started rebounding the ball, started taking it right at us. We didn't get to the foul line. With a team that plays as physical as they do and as tough as they do defensively, you shoot the ball 6 for 18. We had to get to the foul line, and we didn't do it. They got to the foul line more than we did.
Kim, last year after the game in Columbia, you said South Carolina was on a different level from everybody else. After this game, you feel like, obviously you feel like you have work to do, but do you feel like, yeah, you could play with them, that maybe that gap is not there this time?
What do you think? You watch the game, you can write what you want, Scott. You're setting me up, because then you have all those South Carolina people jumping on me. That was a good basketball game. There's a lot of talent on both sides. A possession here, maybe we would have won it. A possession there, maybe we would have won it. But they made the plays to win it, and it was just toughness. It was just toughness. That was good for the SEC. Two good teams battling it out. Huh? Can we get where? Well, I don't know that. I didn't know at this time last year if I was going to win a national championship. You're asking me to look in that crystal ball. What I know is we're relevant. We're one of the top teams in the country. It was a very good game. We will get in the film room, not tomorrow, but Saturday, and get ready for Mississippi State. We'll show some of the things. How did we lose the lead? Where did we not help each other on the defensive end? There were several situations where it got to under 10 on the shot clock, and we are supposed to automatically switch at all positions, and we didn't do things like that. Was that mental fatigue? Was it not communicating? But it was on the far end because we're on defense down there, so we couldn't scream and holler at them. But there were several possessions on the defensive end where we needed to make stops, and we just didn't do it.
I think most people watching the game wouldn't say anything negative about either team. That was an amazing game, just somebody had to lose.
Jock, are you serious? Are you serious? Do you think people aren't going to be negative on social media?
Oh, well,
Now get real.
now what?
But your point is well taken.
Yeah. You're a competitor. You never walk away from a game being happy with the loss. But how do you feel walking away from a game like that where the competition was so high and so many people watched it and the atmosphere was amazing and so forth?
I'm not into moral victories, never have been. We had opportunities to win this game, and we didn't. I'm extremely proud of LSU and the atmosphere and what we created here and what we have created here in, 3 years now. It doesn't get any better than what you experienced tonight. And yeah, I'm sure I'll toss and turn all night. Don't know if I'll sleep much, but that's a personality deal. We'll learn from it, just like we did when we went to South Carolina last year. We'll learn from it. This is just one game. It's just one game.
Coach, I'm curious, similar question, what I asked your players. With ESPN here, do you see that as something where you're talking to them before the game and you're saying, you know what, ESPN's bringing their big crew here, that's something that I'm going to make you all aware of, and does that resonate with your players, or do you actually see it as a potential distraction?
No, I'm sure they know it. I mean, how could you not know it? But we don't discuss that. That's irrelevant. That doesn't score buckets for you or anything like that. They're just excited. They're proud. They feel like we're helping grow the game of women's basketball. And it really, on the scoreboard, this was a win for all of us. It was a win for you guys. It was a win for everybody that got to witness this tonight.
Hey, Kim, Nisa mentioned, this team's already been through a ton in the first couple months of the year. Can you just kind of take us through just how much you've seen this team just sort of, I guess, shape itself, and how much maybe tonight and how well you guys played against arguably the top competition that there is to play, that you guys were right there nip and tuck and you had a chance to win, and how much this can also propel you guys forward through everything that this team's been through?
And it will. I mean, it's competitors, as Flage said, you don't like to lose. It's just a tough pill to swallow. But there are more games to play. Are we a better team tonight and today than we were 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago? Sure we are. If you're not getting better, then you're not doing your job as coaches and as players. And we're better. We're better. I think we're one of the top teams in the country. Losing to South Carolina the way we did sent a message that we're not going away.
Hi, Kim, over here. What did you think of the team's, I guess, offensive process overall? I know you always say your team can score. You're not always worried about that end of the floor, but did you like the shots they were getting? Did you think they left some points on the floor? How would you just assess it?
I thought late in the game we lost it on the defensive end of the floor. We got too far off of people trying to help, or we got fatigued. We're just too far off and allowed some things to happen. But, you know, I was writing this down in the locker room afterwards, waiting to come in here. The second quarter, when they went on that 8-0 run, that might have been where you lost the game. And then you go in at half and you're only up 5. So we can break it down to the end of the game because that's what everybody remembers. But as I told you, it's only one possession and those possessions matter. I thought rebounding in the fourth quarter for South Carolina was big. I think we got out-rebounded 12-4. Some of that was Angel not on the floor. But the game, a lot of times, is lost through the course of the game. And at the end of the second quarter, when they went on that 8-0 run, I thought that was big.
Got time for a couple more in here.
Kim, you mentioned the end of first quarter, end of second quarter situations where could have held for the last shot, didn't, and they hit threes. On the whole, what did you think of your team's kind of in-game decision-making tonight?
Better, but not polished, not tough. I thought they really wanted it. I thought they really worked hard, but we just have to clean up some things, and we will.
Coach, during the second half and on the bench after the game and in the locker room, how did you see Angel react to the foul trouble and how she fouled out in the fourth quarter?
I hadn't really talked to Angel. I know that she was cramping up and asked me to call a timeout right there one time, but I'm not going to talk about fouls. You know, I bet if Angel could do it over again, she wouldn't have been even near that 5th foul. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Kim, I think it was earlier mid-second quarter, I took a video over the entire concourse, and people were stand up and lining up all the way around. And I don't think I saw an empty seat tonight. Just this short 3 years, what's it like for you to come back here, and if you did maybe at some point get a chance to peek up tonight, just seeing the response from the Baton Rouge community, seeing the response from LSU supporters, just kind of what has this been like for you so far, and how amazing is it to see, you know, your young ladies get that level of support?
Well, when I come out before the game, I can see, and the crowd, you know, acknowledges me walking out, and I try to not acknowledge them and thank them basically for being here. When I drive to the PMAC, I see it. It makes you proud. It reminds me of what I told Holly Rowe before the game. When I had my first press conference here, I said, all I want to do is come back to this state and do something positive. Little did I know at that time we would do what we have done in such a short period of time. So now we have probably created a monster, and we have to keep feeding it. And that's the challenging and hard part. You grind and you grind and you grind, and I'm no spring chicken. How much do you keep grinding, or do you just do like Saban did and said, I've had enough, right? Because people forget how hard it is. Do y'all realize what we've done in 3 years is ridiculous? but that's what we do as competitors, as coaches, type A personalities. It's hard. And I'm forever grateful to the community, to LSU. We will just keep doing what we do.